Rader explores what it's like to be a twin. What's it like being a twin? What's it like knowing that there's another person as identical to you as can possibly be? Today's psychiatrist, Dr. William Rader, is here to examine the special relationship that twins have with one another, as well as some of the painful aspects that can result. Joining him is twin Sophie Fox. Sophie, it's nice to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Now, I know it's been about 3.5 years. You lost your twin sister, Bertha.
That's correct.
She had a heart attack.
Right.
Can you describe the relationship you had with Bertha?
Oh, it was wonderful. I wonder if I can have a Kleenex. I should have taken one with me.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Sure. I mean, you all thought alike, you did everything alike, you dressed alike?
Everything. We dressed alike, we thought alike, we talked it. Every time we spoke together.
Mm.
And people would marvel. It's not that they would marvel. It's just the idea they couldn't understand how come these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
When she said spoke together, they said the same thing?
The same identical words.
At the same time.
My sister, she said it's weird. My other sister, every time my sister...
You have a third sister, or a second sister.
I have two more sisters.
Two more sisters, yeah.
Right. And if my sister Bertha would speak to my younger sister in the back bedroom, and she asked her a question, then she'd come in and ask me the same question, and I would answer it. My sister said, my God, the identical words, and yet there was no knowledge of what they were speaking about. It was just the idea that we just thought so much alike that it even was down to the words that we spoke. I think Dr. Rader's familiar with that.
Yeah, is that typical? I mean, that seems like an extreme example of closeness.
Well, Sophie and Bertha are identical twins, and I think we have to separate that out from fraternal twins.
Yes.
Fraternal twins are when you have two eggs fertilized by two separate sperm, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What happens with identical twins is that it is one egg that divides. So think about it genetically. All the millions of things that could happen are exactly the same. And in their case, what they chose to do was to dress exactly alike, to be together all the time, and to really almost lead the same lives. So, of course, then you would see from the genetics and from the environmental influences that this happens. But you read about it, and it's true. It's documented that even when they're apart from each other, they can feel pain when the other one experiences it.
Yes.
Well, not exactly pain. We can experience different things, but we're aware of something. Correct, that's it.
We have a tape that of Dr. Rader and you and Bertha that was done, 3.5 to 4 years ago, right before Bertha unexpectedly passed away. And of all ironies, Dr. Rader had just asked you, Sophie, what would happen to you if Bertha were to pass away. Let's take a look at the tape.
I would really, really feel very bad. I think I would feel worse than a man and his wife who have lived together for 50 years or so if one spouse went and the other remained. I think I would feel it more so. But I would never let it get the best of me to the point where I would follow her for a month or two.
Do you ever hope that you die at the same time so neither one has to experience it?
Well, it's not that we hoped. We always thought about it. Because when we went on our vacation, we made up a will whereby if the both of us went, we never mentioned the fact that one of us went. It was always the both of us. And we still have that will made up whereby if the two of us left this world, regardless of which one died first, and that's how we made up the will.
But yet you haven't made a will for each other?
No.
Why?
No, we never did.
So you just put that...
It never dawned on us.
Do you consider yourself lucky that you're a twin?
Of course. We'll be lucky all our lives. We've been lucky and we'll be lucky until we die. Now, you noticed I always say we.
Yeah.
So there probably is the answer. I mean, I never say I or her, you know. It's always us. It's always we.
And that's fun.
And that's fun.
There it is. Together, you think as one. What goes through your mind when you watch that?
I miss her so much. It hasn't affected my life to the point where I don't go out or I don't get dressed and I just go around like a I try to do things that I have to do. And I'm just leading my life the way I led it before. It's only without her.
One of the reasons that we asked Sophie to come out is because when I asked her that question at that time, she thought that she couldn't. Obviously, it's more difficult to lose a twin. It's like losing a part of your body as well as a loved one.
Absolutely.
But she is able to survive, and she is able to carry on, and I think that people can understand that in their own lives and have, you know, whatever thoughts they have to understand that even in her case, and even a situation like this is very unusual and very strange, and they were almost as one, that she's been able not only to carry on, but as you tell me, to not be as happy as you were all the time, but to lead a very productive life. So we don't have to have that burden on ourselves.
Well, it's true. Sophie represents all couples. She and Bertha represented all couples, for that matter.
That's right.
What can you touch on certain things, Sophie, that helped you get through this? Support from your family, or?
Oh, well, naturally, I got support from my family, but it was just the idea at the time. My sister and I went on to retirement, and we were both home, which we enjoyed being together, doing the things that we did, and this and that and the other, and then all of a sudden, she's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to just get along and do the things that I was doing prior to her death. And I just constantly kept myself busy. Busy to the point where I was exhausted at night, and when I got into bed, I just fell asleep.
That's a good idea.
And that was it. Because if I started to think about my sister, I would never get to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I always made it a point of practically working myself to death every day.
What would you do?
Well, you know, a woman, her chores are never done. Let's face it. The cleaning and the washing and the ironing and the cooking and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and especially when you got a 3-bedroom apartment and 3 beds, boy, that's a heck of a house, isn't it? And I do it myself. Nobody helps me. So I just make it my business to just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it.
Sophie's gone through something that we all go through. Kubler-Ross, Dr. Kubler-Ross talks about it, where at first there's the denial, and then the anger, then the depression, and you go through stages, and eventually you get to the point of resolution. And there is always the end, and it's going to be okay. And this is a very difficult, unusual situation, even more than a husband and wife. I mean, it's really hard to describe how difficult it is, yet Sophie is surviving. It is part of life to die. It is also part of life when someone dies to go through these stages. And if anybody right now is going through these stages, they will make it, as Sophie has made it.
Yeah,
But there's only one thing. I don't whistle while I work anymore. My sister and I always whistled while we worked, or we'd sing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'd carry on with one another while we worked, because we would work in one room at a time together.
Yeah.
See. But I don't whistle anymore, and I don't sing anymore.
But are you
Maybe there will be a time. I'm trying. I go around trying to whistle all the time, but if I whistle a tune for about 50 seconds or so, and then I remember.
But Sophie, let me ask you, are you going to make it?
If I've made it for 3.5 years, I'll have to make it for the rest of my life.
That's good, because part of life is living.
Exactly.
And we're glad you were here today, Sophie.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
You
being
seem to
so
be doing
honest
well.
and open.
Thank you, Dr. Rader.
Thank you.
We'll see a final fabulous look for Linda Gray right after this.